Hi, Tim Wheels here, and on today's how-to video, I'm going to have a quick install of the Grip Puppies. I'm going to be wrapping some Grip Puppies around, I'm going to be installing puppy fat around my grips. No. I'm going to be installing Grip Puppies on my hand grips of my bike. Now this will be a very quick video. These are super simple to install. I want to show you how to install these, and then I'll be riding with them and giving you my thoughts on them afterwards. So let's head on over to the bike and start installing these puppies.
Several bad puns later.
Now, these grips are fine. They've been working great. Some people complain that they're too small a diameter. There's no cushion to them. So one of the things I'm going to try is something called Grip Puppies. Now, I'm sure you've seen these or heard of these. They're just basically two little foam pieces of foam tube that slide over your grips. Nothing certainly very high tech about it, but they claim to make it more comfortable and reduce vibration, as well as improve your throttle control. We'll see about that. And also it just increases the diameter and just makes it more comfortable for people with bigger hands. Now, one of the questions I have personally is whether this is going to interfere with the heated grips, if it'll still allow. And from what I've heard and read online, that yes, it still allows the heat to radiate from the grip through the foam to keep your hands warm. And I believe they will, because the heated grips on the BMW 1200 GS, they're you have to keep it on low most of the time. On high, they will get too hot for comfort, even through gloves. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to open this up here. Let's take a look inside. So the stock Grip Puppy looks like this. Now, it is by default 5 inches long. And for my particular bike, as you can see here, it's just a tad bit too long, and that's okay. They tell you just to trim it to the length of your grip. They purposely make it this length so that it'll fit most common grips. And you don't need to remove your grips. They just simply slide over top. So we'll see how that works. So I'm just going to get a measurement here. So this is showing up as 1.225 inches on my measurement. Now, this is certainly not scientific, but that's a pretty close approximation of the grip diameter. So we'll measure that. And for you metric people out there, that would be 31.11 millimeters, just for comparison. Now, I do have the Machine Art Moto advanced handguards on here, so this process is going to be a little different if you have the OEM grips, the plastic grips, but still there's going to be a bolt that you remove from the bar end, remove the bar end weight here, and then just slide the grip over. So let's go ahead and do that. Here in the winter time, we tend to add enhancements and farkles to our bike. So I'm going to remove that end bolt for the Machine Art Moto. And just for the record, I love these handguards. You can see I'm in the kind of the winter configuration here. I have the shield up to help block the wind. I'm just going to go ahead and pivot this up or down, either way, and remove the bar end weight. And then with our Grip Puppy, I'm going to come in here and just kind of lay it up against the inside and then mark roughly where I need to cut this. All right. And then I'm just using a pair of my shop scissors here to just trim this off, trying to make it look as straight and as professional as I can. As you can see, in my case, I just removed about that much. I'm not going to give you specific measurements here, so you trim it the way you want it for your particular bike. And now I'm just going to slide this up over the grip. Now, I know with putting on grips, you can use oil or air. I want to try to keep this dry underneath. So I'm just putting pressure on it and working it. There's probably a super easy way to do this.
A few inches later.
I'll have to say they are a tougher material than I thought it would just be foam. They do claim that this is UV resistant. So it is definitely tougher than just a standard, foam rubber that I've seen. So I think they'll hold up pretty well. So I am able to take some pliers and kind of tug on it as I work it to help get it all the way up on the grip. Phew, okay. So I have that installed now. I'll have to say it does feel nice to the hand. It's a bigger diameter, and the foam rubber, can't wait to take that for a ride and see what it looks like. All right, before I put the grip on, or the end bar back on, I'm going to get another measurement here and see what we are now. Now I'm not compressing it, I'm just putting the grip to where it just about touches it. So now we're at about 1.62 inches, which added about a ½ an inch in diameter to the overall grip. And for my metric buddies out there, that's 41.15 centimeters. Turn that back up, and there we go. Now I've got my handguard back on and my new grips on here. Wow, I have to say, it makes more of a difference than I expected. Okay, so I couldn't help but have a little fun with this video and playing around with the new slider for some of those shots there at the end. Put a little sexy music to it because it's not a real exciting topic. So I have ridden now with the grip Puppies on the bike a few times, and I really like them. When I first got on the bike, I was so used to the previous grips that they felt huge actually when I first started riding. But after just a few miles, I didn't really pay attention to them being there. So they are definitely more comfortable. The bigger diameter of the grip, I think, is a more natural stance for my hands, or a more natural grip position for my hands. So they do feel nice. This bike didn't really have a lot of vibration in the handlebars anyway, but if you have kind of a vibey bike like my KLR, when I had that, it was you got a lot of vibration in the handlebars. This would have been a nice addition to a KLR or any single cylinder thumper to help kind of reduce that vibing and fatigue you feel after a long period of time of riding. So as far as the heated grips go, that was one of my concerns about putting these on there. So yes, it's more comfortable. Yes, I like the size of the grip, but the heated grip was a concern. So one of the days that I went riding, it was in the 30s, so it was pretty chilly. So I did turn the grips on. And on low, I couldn't really feel any heat coming out of it. Now, had I ridden for a long period of time, maybe I would have. But I went ahead and bumped it up to high. And as any of you know, BMWs, they just basically have a high, low, and off position. So on high, I did start feeling some of the heat through the grip. And it was enough to stay comfortable, but it wasn't near as hot as it used to be. As I mentioned earlier in the video, these grips on high used to get, in my regular riding gloves, would get really hot and was uncomfortable for me. Now with my winter gloves on, I had to put them up on high to get any heat through. So it's kind of like that. I equate it to riding with these in my standard gloves. It's almost like having my winter gloves on. I need to bump it up to high to get the heat to come through enough to make a difference. But all that aside, it's a neat little add-on to the bike. I think definitely in the summertime, it's going to be great because you don't have to worry about the heat. Even in the wintertime, it still works. But overall, the comfort is there. The material is much tougher than I originally thought it would be, much more rugged. I do think that these will hold up. I've seen some foam rubber type grip covers that they get torn, they get snagged. I don't think that's going to happen to these. These are very dense, very rugged material. So at any rate, that's my thoughts on it. Do I think it was worth it? Yes, I do. It's something that you don't have to have by any means, but it's nice. It adds a little more comfort. And I haven't taken a long trip with them yet, but I will this summer. And I think that long distance, long riding, that's where they're really going to kind of make a difference, where your hands on there for an extended period of time. So at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. This is Tim Two Wheels. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.